everybody, how you doing? My name is Chef Ian Bartley. I'm the chef owner of Catering by Ian in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And welcome to my YouTube channel. The general idea behind my YouTube channel is to, if you're like me, you're tired of eating the same thing, cooked the same way over and over. Well, the general idea is I'm going to show you how to take the stuff that you have in your house, the stuff that you usually cook every week, and show you how to cook it a different way, right? An exciting way. I'm also going to show you how to go into the supermarket and you see that stuff that you are a little bit intimidated to cook. I'm going to show you how to cook that as well. So, welcome to Class Carlene with Chef Ian. So today I'm going to show you how to make a real summery dessert. Okay? We're going to make some poached peaches with a Diplomat cream and a pecan crumble. So, first thing we want to do is get together our poaching liquid for our peaches. Okay? In my bowl, I have 1.5 cups of water. To that, I'm going to add a cup of white wine. Now, it doesn't have to be white wine. You can add port. You can add sherry. You can add whatever liqueur makes you happy. Okay? You can even add red wine. But keep in mind, the red wine is going to change the color of the peaches. All right? I have here 8 ounces of sugar. Right? And then, as I said, I'm making a spiced peaches. So I have some cinnamon, some fresh ginger, some star anise. There's 2 star anise. There's about roughly, I would say maybe 1/4 ounce of ginger, 1 cinnamon stick, 6 peppercorns, black peppercorns, like that. Okay. And just a piece of orange zest. Now we're going to put this on the stove and bring it to a boil. So while our poaching liquid is boiling or coming to a boil, let's get our peaches ready. Okay. Now peach is what we refer to as a stone fruit, and I'll show you exactly why. When you cut down the middle of the peach, and I'm going to go all the way through it, there's a hard seed, which is like a stone. All right, so we're going to get that out. Take your knife, just work it around the outside of the stone. Simply pop that out. Do that on the other side. Get that out. Now also, you can use any type of stone fruit for this dessert. It can be peaches, it can be nectarines. You can even do pears. Down the middle. Cut down the middle. Also, you don't want your peach to be too ripe. If your peach is overripe, it poaches very quickly and tends to get soggy. So you want a peach that's still firm. Okay. Let's pull the seeds out. Okay. And as I said, this is a very light, refreshing, summery type of a dessert. Done. Cut that up. All right, we're good to go. Last one. Cut around the seed. This one, for some reason, the seed seems to be a lot bigger. But hey, it's a fruit, so natural. These things happen. Okay? Good to go. All right. Clean my cutting board. Clean my knife. Let's go. Now, our poaching liquid was boiling, so I'm going to take my peaches, put them in. You want to make sure that your peaches are submerged in the syrup. You want to make sure that your peaches are submerged in the syrup. Okay? Now we're going to bring it to a simmer and let it cook for 15 minutes or until done. So for my pastry cream, I have 2 egg yolks, and to that I'm going to divide a 1/2 cup of sugar between the egg yolks. And on the pot I have 1.5 cup of boiling milk. Okay. I'm going to whisk my milk, but also I'm going to whisk my eggs and my sugar. I'm going to take, I've just added 1/8 of a cup of cornstarch, 1.5 teaspoon of flour, and about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Makes it nice and smooth. So with my sugar, my cornstarch, my flour, and my egg, get that nice and smooth. Then I'm going to temper it. Tempering simply means I'm going to take half of the hot liquid, add it to my egg mixture. All right. This way it doesn't form lumps when I put it back in the pot. Get this nice and smooth before I put it back in the pot. If I don't get it smooth when I put it in the pot, I will have lumps. And you don't really want a lumpy cream. Alright? Dump it back in the pot real quick. Now at this stage, I got to be careful to constantly whisk it until it thickens. So the whole idea is not to get any lumps in your pastry cream. And because I'm using cornstarch, this will thicken very quickly. Also, by whisking it, it adds a little bit of air to the mixture, and so makes it lighter as well. Notice our peaches poaching lovely. Maybe another 5-10 minutes, the peaches will be ready. So pastry cream has thickened, but I don't want to stop whisking it until it's completely thick. Now I'm going to cook this for roughly a minute so that the starch in the flour cooks out. But I'm going to continue to whisk it this way it does not burn. Turn the fire back up a little bit. My peaches are not poaching, not simmering. Turn it back up just a notch. You don't want it boiling. You do not want the peach boiling at all. The peaches will start to fall apart. Okay. All right. Now that my pastry cream has cooked for a minute, to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Whisk until it's completely incorporated. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay. I always recommend that you use pure vanilla extract. It's just a nice flavor than using the imitation stuff. All right. Now that my pastry cream is completed, we're going to cool it down. So I'm going to just scrape it into a bowl. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some plastic wrap, cover the top of it, right? But I'm going to have the plastic wrap sit directly onto the pastry cream. Okay. This way that the pastry cream, when it's cooling, does not form a skin or a crust. Okay. Then I'm going to sit it in a water bath, just a simple bowl with some ice and some water. I'm going to sit it on there until pastry cream is completely cooled. Now our peaches should be ready. So I'm just going to test it. All I'm looking for is that my knife inserts smoothly into the peach without any sort of resistance. I'm going to take my peaches out, liquid, sit them on a plate. Then I'm going to put them in the refrigerator until they cool completely. Another thing you could do with the peaches is you can blanch them, which simply means you put them in a pot of boiling water, then you put them in some ice, and that will help you take the skin off. Right? But I like skin on my peaches, so for this recipe I'm not going to do that. Right? I'll just put it in the refrigerator till it's completely cooled. So when you're making desserts, one of the things that you need to consider is texture. Right? So if we made this dessert, which had the Diplomat cream, which is a soft cream, or poached peaches, which is a soft peaches, then if that's all that was on the plate, your dessert would be soft. So you have to contrast that with some form of a texture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pecan crumble. Now, I already had some crumble topping that I made for some sweet potato souffle. Okay, and a simple recipe for this is 1 cup of sugar, brown sugar. I'm using dark brown sugar. Half a cup of flour. I'm using self-rising flour because I want the crumble to pop up a little bit. And then I put 1/4 of a cup of butter. No, you just simply put it together and crumble it up. Okay, you don't want it to be mushy. You want it to be loose, somewhat resembling cornmeal. All right. Now to my crumble, I'm going to add some pecans. Okay. You don't have to add nuts. You can just use that directly. But I like pecans because it gives it an added flavor. It also gives it an added layer of crunch. Okay. And you don't want to chop them too small. All right, nice and chopped up. Mix it in. Okay. Now I'm using dark brown sugar. I could use light brown, but the reason why I use the dark brown is because I want that molasses flavor that you get from dark brown sugar. All right. Once my crumble is mixed up, I have a sheet pan, which I have a layer of aluminum foil that I've sprayed lightly with some cooking spray. All right. Take my crumble, spread it out loosely. Okay. What's going to happen when it cooks, the sugar is going to caramelize, and the added flour, and that's going to make a really nice brittle type of component for our dessert. Okay, I'm going to put this in a 350 degrees oven for about 10 to 15 minutes, or at least until it's fully cooked. So now that our pastry cream has been cooled, okay, we're going to assemble the Diplomat cream. And as I said, all that a Diplomat cream is pastry cream along with whipped cream. Now we're going to whip fresh cream. We're not going to use the Miracle Whip or that kind of product. What it does, it just changes the flavor of your dessert. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I have a water bath again, or ice bath. Ice, some water, put my bowl on top. All right. Then I'm going to add the fresh heavy cream. I'm not going to add any sugar to the heavy cream because the sugar is already in your pastry cream. Right. Now the reason why I put it on an ice bath is whenever you're whipping cream, you want everything to be cold. Right? Because if you over whip it, it'll go from liquid heavy cream to butter in a short period of time. By being cold, it stops it from going to the butter. What you could do, if one day you wanted to try to make some butter, is you take the heavy cream. Just go in the store, get your heavy whipping cream. You'll see both heavy cream and whipping cream. The difference is that the heavy cream has more butter fat. So you take it, and just like I'm whipping it right here, you just keep whipping it, and then it'll eventually go from this liquid to a big glob of butter holding on to your whisk. That's why you have to be very, very careful when you're whisking, because it will go from liquid to a solid in no time. Now, if you also have a stand mixer, you can put it in there as well. If you notice, as it whisks, it gets thicker. A lot of your store-bought whipped creams have an oil base. Okay? It doesn't have that milk base. Now we don't want it too thick. Okay? We want it somewhat pliable. Okay. You notice I removed my whisk and it kept its shape. That's basically what I'm looking for. I'm going to go just for another couple of seconds. Okay. Whipped cream is done. Then I'm going to soften the pastry cream. Because if you take a look, now that it's been refrigerated, it's now a solid glob. Okay, so we're going to soften it to add the whipped cream to it. Okay, all of it out. Good to go. Good to go. All right. So now to that, I'm just going to fold in my heavy cream. All right. Now for the first, I'm going to do it in stages. For the first incorporation of the heavy cream, I'm just going to roughly whisk it in. Okay. I want the heavy cream to soften the pastry cream. This way, when I start incorporating the rest of the pastry cream, the rest of the whipped cream, the pastry cream is already soft. And it absorbs it a lot better. I'm going to do it in, not a lot, so I'm going to just dump all of that in here. Then, now I'm going to fold it in. So I'm moving my spatula around through the middle. All the way around through the middle. Why am I folding it? It's because all that air that we work to whip into the whipped cream to get it nice and fluffy. Okay, we don't want to deflate it by moving it too hard. Then, okay. Now we're going to refrigerate this. Now this is incorporated. We're going to refrigerate it for about half an hour. And what's going to happen is the starches that's in the pastry cream is going to solidify a little bit more, and our Diplomat cream will be a little bit more firm. Alright, so now that all the components of our dessert is ready, let's put our dessert to plate. So you have your Diplomat cream. Put a nice glob of Diplomat cream on the bottom. Okay. Alright. Then you're going to put your peaches. Set your peaches on top. Diplomat cream. As I said, I didn't peel the peaches. Personally, I like my peaches with the skin on it. All right, so that's why I didn't. But if you want, you can blanch them, you can peel them. You can just take a paring knife and peel them if you'd like. All right, and then what I did was I took the liquid that I used to poach the peach, and I reduced it just a little bit, okay, so that it thickens up into more like of a syrup, and also the spice flavor got intensified. I'm going to take that, I'm going to just drizzle some on top of my peaches. Okay. And I'm just going to drizzle just a little bit around the plate. Okay, so that has added taste. Okay. And now that our crumble is ready, if you notice it's solid pieces, almost like a cookie. All right, we're just going to take those and put them on your plate. One underneath the peach right there. Maybe one in front of the peach like so. Yeah, it's maybe a third one. Just to just to give it a little bit more of a crunch. Okay. So our finished dessert is spiced poached peaches with a Diplomat cream and some pecan crumble. Okay. If you like what you saw today, check us out on Facebook, which is Ian Bartley, or on our Instagram page, which is catering_by_Ian. Okay. We service the Maryland, DC, Virginia region, but also we travel. So if you're out of state and you'd like for us to come and cater your event, as long as we can make it happen, give us a call. We'd be happy to do that for you. Okay. If you like what you saw today, we ask that you like, subscribe, and share our channel. And come on back in a few days to check us out again to see what exciting stuff that we're doing for you. Have a wonderful day.